Hello everybody and welcome to our session about faster deployments and lower costs with Azure Red Hat OpenShift. My name is James Reed, I'm the Principal Solution Architect at Red Hat, but in this session you're mostly going to be hearing from Oscar from Pelayo, a customer who's deployed Azure Red Hat OpenShift today in production, and you'll hear from Oscar about their story about adopting and using Azure Red Hat OpenShift for running their production applications. So without further ado, let's get started into today's session. So on the agenda today, we're going to do a very brief introduction to what is Azure Red Hat OpenShift, the first-party, fully managed service from Microsoft and Red Hat. And then we'll hand over to Oscar, who will introduce Pelayo, talk to you about the company, and tell you about where they are today and where they've come from, and obviously their challenges and goals as well. Oscar's going to tell you about why the company chose Azure Red Hat OpenShift, and most importantly, talk about the results and what they've got from deploying the service with their applications today in production. We'll finish off with a bit of advice, and we're very keen to hear your questions and comments in chat, so please do use the interactive features and get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. So what is Azure Red Hat OpenShift? Well, it's a first-party, fully managed service of OpenShift on Azure. So using OpenShift Container Platform, it can be provisioned directly from the Azure portal into your own Azure account. This gives you a fully managed container platform as a service. As a container platform, it contains much of the technology that developers are needing to use, like Kubernetes, like Linux containers, and the various developer integration and application services they need. Being a managed service and being so easy to deploy and get up and running within your Azure account really allows your developers to innovate. It puts the power back in the developers' hands, and you'll hear from Oscar in a second how they were able to move to use the Azure Red Hat OpenShift from on-premise with minimal retraining and minimal disruption to developers' workloads. Because it's based in the cloud, it's allowed you to scale on demand. From a technical basis, you'll hear in a minute how they managed to add a worker node and increase the size, or add several worker nodes, increase the size of the environment very easily, self-service, without any real effort, because this is all automated. From a commercial perspective as well, you can scale based on an hourly basis, paying for the additional resources, so you can scale up and down according to your application's demands. Finally, because this was engineered with Microsoft and Red Hat together, we've managed to back this service with a 99.95% SLA, obviously well and truly suitable for production and mission-critical workloads. Backed, of course, by 24/7 premium support, and of course, because we've engineered this with Microsoft, we've managed to get various different security and industry certifications, again, putting confidence back with customers for running large-scale enterprise container platforms. So there you go, this is a very brief overview of Azure Red Hat OpenShift, but I'd love to hand over to Oscar now to tell you about their experience at Pelayo of using this at their company. Over to you, Oscar, and can you start by introducing yourself as well?
Okay. I want to thank Red Hat and Microsoft for this opportunity to share with you the way Pelayo transformed the IT. I introduce myself. My name is Oscar Rivas-Sendin, and I am the head of architecture in Pelayo. As I told you before, we are transforming Pelayo using the technology as a key. First, we did the new development framework for front-end application. We were introduced the concept of SPA and AP Manager, and now we have our new development framework for backend, the one that I'm going to talk here. For this year, we are going to start our new data architecture project too. Maybe you don't know anything about my company, but Pelayo is a mutual insurance company. We are locally. We are a Spanish company, and we only sell products in Spain. We have more than 1,000 employees, and we are an 86-year-old company. So now we are in a second zone. We sell mainly cars and motorbike insurance, but we have other important types of insurance like home, health, life, or agricultural. And most important thing here is that we have more than 1 million of happy customers. Let's start. I want to share with you where we were 2 years ago. All our applications were monolithic. We have a framework based on Spring 2.5 and for the backend, and Adobe Flex for the front end. We have a SOAP architecture to connect the different services, and we only use structural data. I forgot to tell you the best part. We have a lot of COBOL. Remember, we are an 86-year-old company. But we worked really hard during these years, and I want to thank my team to this hard work. And right now, we have a better architecture. Right now, all our new applications use a modern architecture, as I told you before, SPA and AP Manager. And our new microservice architecture deployed in Hyrule. We decided to use Hyrule and others. Why decide to use Hyrule than others? First of all, we wanted a new architecture that should be agile, fully continuous deployment and continuous integration, and of course, easy to grow and easy to integrate with our future data architecture. We have in mind that we want to use Java as a program language. Besides this, we knew that we were going to focus in Kubernetes technology. We decided to use OpenShift as Kubernetes distribution, and we look for a PaaS here because we want the speed, because we need this solution in production as soon as possible. And our operation team needed some help to manage this new platform. This decision reduced our operation costs a lot. We update the platform, add a new worker server or chain, and all one just with a click. What do we have in Hyrule right now? We wanted to build our new architecture based on 4 main pillars: security, microservices, continuous integration and continuous deployment, and even streaming. In the security part, we know that we want to continuously address security, so we use the service mesh and our firewall to handle that. Microservice, one of our old problems was our monolithic deployment. If we failed, we affect all the company, so we need to change it to the new development method. So we decided to go to microservice just to minimize the risk. The continuous integration and continuous deployment, we want to agilize our development and operation team. So this new architecture is fully continuous integration and continuous deployment. A pull request acceptance magically deploy. And the event streaming, we wanted an architecture to handle all the new future microservices. And as I told you, our future data architecture too. To these pillars, we add some new functionality like cache, the possibility to work with SQL and non-SQL databases, and some platform integration microservices to communicate with our legacy system like the service bus, the content manager, our old monolithic application, and of course, our old COBOL application. All these micros are in the architecture domain because we want DDD, domain-driven design. This means that all of our new microservices are matching a business domain. Inside each domain, we have 3 types of microservices: core ones, query ones, and business service ones. Besides this, we create all the starters needed for the development team to fast up all the development process. So in 5 minutes, they have a new microservice created, ready to deploy, and ready to develop. We have deployed all these in 2 Hyrule instances, one for development and one for production platform. I mean, the development platform have development, acceptance, and pre-production environment, and the production platform is in high availability. And I think it's the first time I deploy a high availability platform with such a containment cost. Now we have an hybrid architecture. All our legacy are on-premise, and new software designing to take full advantage of cloud computing and the new Hyrule infrastructure. And now we are working to migrate the old monolithic application to new microservice ones. This is not 100% true. We study each application that we want to move to cloud with the 6R strategy. As you know, rehost, replace, replatform, refactor, retire, or retain. I mean, as head of architecture, we prefer refactor. This work for my team. Okay. What we have won with Aero? We started on cloud or cloud transformation. It was the first point for us. We have lower times of development with all the starters we made to the development team, only have to focus in the business logic. It's fully continuous development and fully continuous deployment and continuous integration. The development team are really happy about that. Right now, they can deploy by themselves to the development and the acceptance environment. Thanks to this, we are able to deploy every day with zero downtime. This was impossible 2 years ago, when we are only deploying once in a month. Lower times to operate the environment. The Aero console helps us to manage the environment really easy. We can increase our platform adding workers in 5 minutes. Before Aero, this should be days if we were lucky, or months if you were not. We have better times of executions and the possibility of auto-scale in the micros. I don't know if I told you, but we were the first company to use Aero 4 in production in Spain. We are the first adopters of this technology in Spain. So this has good things and others not so good. The Aero team was fully focused in us. I want to thank especially the Fast Track team and the partner that worked with us in this project. Unfortunately, we have 2 stoppers. If only 2 is not too much. The first one was the platform upgrade. We started a project knowing that we wanted to migrate. As I told you before, one of our pillars was security, and the service mesh was ready in Aero 4, version 4. Okay? And we started our project in summer of 2018, and the Aero version there was 3.11. So when the Aero 4 were ready, we migrate all the deployment, all the development done to the new version. This was almost transparent for us. We create the new instance in version 4.3. We install the service mesh on all the platform servers, and then stopped the old Aero 3.11 instance. I don't know if you have created any instance in Aero. This is done in 30 minutes. And the upgrade process is like fire and forget. I don't remember if the process is done in 10 or 15 minutes, but during this process, there are no downtime. So this is really transparent for us. The second problem was a bug. It was a DNS bug related to the way Aero communicates with our on-premise DNS. But as I told you, the Aero team was focusing us, and we have that workaround really shortly. And now we have the bug solved with a final solution. Now we have one big project in production. This is digitalization, and what we do here is to sign digitally all the documents related to new contract with our customer. This project was done 100% in Aero. It's reactive. The micros are asynchronous. We use SQL and non-SQL databases, and use event streaming and service mesh as key point. We made a microservice. Now we think we could have made less micros, but we were excited to use our new type. We have some other microservice in production. Now we are handling the latency problem, but in a short period of time, we will have our express route working, and this should solve this problem. Okay. So, if I recommend you, just jump to the cloud like Pelayo have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar, and absolutely fantastic to hear about that reference there. Great to know that, again, it wasn't just an easy migration. You encountered a few problems along the way, but you had Microsoft and Red Hat behind you to provide the support you needed, provide that reassurance, and help you out in those situations in moving towards cloud. As we know, it's not a simple thing for every company. The business benefits you mentioned there are fantastic about being able to scale the environment, easy on a technical basis, easy on a commercial basis as well. You managed to move from Area version 3 to 4 and from on-premise to public cloud with very little disruption to developers too. So fantastic to hear from you. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. With that being said, thank you again for the session. And again, if you've got any questions, please do drop them in chat or any comments. We'd love to hear from you and from our audience about how you thought about this reference. And of course, I'd like to hear more about, if you'd like to hear more about Azure Red Hat OpenShift, go check out the link here on the presentation. I'm sure we'll drop that as well, so maybe you can easily click it. And all I say, like Oscar said, if you're looking towards OpenShift, towards containerization, Kubernetes and that sort of thing, but you're looking for the easy option, and the option that's the least risk and the most flexibility, I may ask you to consider Azure Red Hat OpenShift. And do get in contact with your local Microsoft person or Red Hat guy, and we'd love to talk to you and reach out. Oscar, once again, thanks for presenting, and thank you everybody for joining our session.